गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. In Kutastha Chaitanya, which is of the nature of pure consciousness or pure knowledge, how has ignorance appeared? If everything is the one reality, then how can ignorance appear? So here it says, Swaprakashe kuto vidya tam vina kathamavruti इत्यादि तर्क जालानि स्वानुभूतिर्ग्रसत्यसौ. The fallacious argument, such as in the Kutastha Chaitanya, which is self-effulgent, how can there be ignorance? And without ignorance, how can the veiling take place? Are silenced by direct personal experience of the self. So only one sure short solution. What is that? Come to know the pure consciousness, all these questions will be answered. And therefore, our teacher also says, don't ask why and how. How the ignorance has come about. Realize Kutastha Chaitanya, you will know the answer. Because then, if you are asking a question in ignorance, I will be answering the question in ignorance. You will be understanding by intellect which is in ignorance. Ignorance is the substratum then. So prakashe kuta vidya, in such Kutastha Chaitanya, which is of the nature of self-effulgence, which is of the nature of light, and that light is not borrowed light, light is not coming from outside. Its nature is light. Like the sun. It is self-effulgent. It does not get the fire and heat and light from outside. It is self-effulgent. Similarly, this Kutastha Chaitanya also is self-effulgent. Then where from ignorance has come about? Has this question come to our mind ever? That if everything is divinity, we use this word, Bhagwan is everywhere. Then if Bhagwan is everywhere, why you are not accepting yourself as Bhagwan? Why you are not accepting other person as Bhagwan? Why you are not accepting everything, space, air, fire, water, earth, past, present, future, people, good people, bad people, every thought, every emotion, why don't you consider it as Bhagwan? But you say Bhagwan is everywhere. Going against your own convictions, that means our conviction is not strong. So how will we, if Bhagwan is everything, then what is the position of, how is Bhagwan everything? As an individual, you will never be able to work out how Bhagwan is everything. We give you the example, ocean is all the waves. Ocean is supporting all the waves. Ocean is in all the waves, in and through all the waves. Without the oceans, waves cannot express. This is a good example. But when it comes to ourselves, and we take the ocean as Ishvara and waves as all the objects of the world, that Bhagwan is everything, Bhagwan is supporting the whole creation, Bhagwan is in and through the creation. Kaise? You didn't ask the word kaise. How? When you gave you the example of ocean and waves, you could appreciate it. This is because of, until unless we don't merge into the Lord, till then we will not have the experience. We can use many words to explain how Lord is expressing through is the only material. We use the upadana karan and nimitta karan. He is the material cause of the creation, he is the efficient cause of the creation. Acha, very good, he is the creator, I understand. He is the material. How? We say yes, but we have never thought about it. That means every cell is nothing but that divinity. But what does it mean that every cell is divinity? Is cell the divinity? ये सब questions आपको they may not disturb you right now because we just it feels nice listening to the satsang and a little bit contemplation is good, but when we dive deep into it, then as you dive deep and your mind becomes calm, then these questions automatically will come to trouble you. Here the teacher, the master, Vidyaranya Swami is already addressing those questions, the possible questions that may appear on the seat of contemplation. So here he says, where from the ignorance has come if Kutastha Chaitanya is self-effulgent, tam bina katham avritihi. Without ignorance, how can there be veiling or self-knowledge? Next question, if ignorance first is Kutastha is self-effulgent, on that you are saying that ignorance appears, and that without that ignorance, that ignorance alone expresses as veiling and what was that? Projection. Then ityadi tarka jalani asau swanubhuti grasati. Such fallacious arguments are silenced only by one's own direct experience, the teacher is saying. Because if I go to explain how the Kutastha is self-effulgent, I cannot answer. There's no answer. You have to just accept it. How has ignorance experienced? How has ignorance appeared? This also I cannot answer. I cannot answer. Because it's beginningless. How it has come means I have to find a point of beginning. I cannot. But I can find a point of conclusion. And how is that possible? By being the pure consciousness. And once I merge into the pure consciousness or be the Kutastha Chaitanya, then automatically understand what is the game of this ignorance. Well, it will be not there in the first place. If I am at the position of Kutastha Chaitanya, there is no question of delusion and illusion. There is no question of delusion and projection. There cannot be more convincing pramana than one's own experience of this avarana shakti. Just as to our vision from the earth, the small cloud seems to be covering the huge sun. Similarly, the ignorance seems to be covering the Kutastha Chaitanya. This is the fallacious entity called the Jiva, which thinks that the Kutastha is covered by Ajnanam. Just like I tell you, she has made a shira in the kitchen. Maybe it is from yesterday, I don't know. But I saw it there. So she's made a shira. What is shira? I don't know. No, shira is semolina plus sugar syrup plus water plus milk plus banana plus, I don't know, elaichi, cardamom seeds. Oh, really? I understand all those. But what is shira? And then I say, come here. I say, I am explaining because only I love you. Because you are sincerely asking the questions. So I am going to explain to you. Again, I explain the whole process of how to make it. But what is Shira? Question will still remain. After all this explanation, eventually what will I say? Yeah, taste some and then you will know. And once you give it to taste, now he doesn't ask the question because he has tasted it. It is his direct experience, isn't it? Exactly the same way. Here also, These questions only remain as we are ignorant. Once we come to know, once we come to abide, there is no question. There is no question. Then scriptures are also defunct. No need of scriptures after that. And yet masters do study because nothing better to do. So, similarly, the ignorance seems to be covering the Kutastha Chaitanya. It is the fallacious entity called the Jiva which thinks that the Kutastha is covered by Ajnanam. So, it is the individual who is thinking the Kutastha is covering the Ajnanam. Who is this? For whom is all this knowledge given? For whom is all the Vedas given? For whom is the Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures given? Is it for the Kutastha Chaitanya, the pure consciousness, the self-effulgent principle? No. It is being given to the conditioned consciousness. This conditioned consciousness is saying that I don't know what Kutastha is. And to that Kutastha, that conditioned consciousness, Jiva here, we are saying that, hey, you cannot come to know. The only way to know is by being it. Then why am I not being it? Because of ignorance. To whom it is being told? To the Jiva, not to the Kutastha. Apply it on yourself. Who are you right now? Kutastha also and Jiva also. When is the Kutastha expressing? I'm asking.
When you are ignorant.
No. Kutastha is all the time. Kuta is the substratum. Then are we experiencing it right now? Are we directly abiding in it right now? Or are we only talking about it? So if we are not directly abiding in the Kutastha pure consciousness as the pure consciousness, then we are the Jiva. So all teachings are for the Jiva. All practices are for the Jiva. Does he need to know all this? Infinite number of scriptures, infinite ways of practices and techniques and methods to purify yourself and come to know. You are trying to remove that which does not exist. Who is he? The Jiva. Here example taken, like that cloud. What is cloud? A teeny mini cloud covering the big sun, because it's optical illusion. We are standing in the wrong place. And you are saying, oh, the cloud is covering. So what is covering here in ourselves? A thought is covering, the I is covering. Which is this I? It is that I which has got identified with the breath and the body. That I is covering. We are saying, the Jiva is saying, that I is covering the pure consciousness, which by nature is infinite. How can one cloud cover the infinite consciousness? It is this fallacious entity called the Jiva which thinks that the Kutastha is covered by Ajnanam. So, continuing the same thought, Swanubhutava Vishwase, Tarkasyapyanavasthite, Katham Vatarkikam Manyaha, Nishchayamapnuyat. The one considering oneself an erudite logician, although knowing well that the logical deductions are subject to change, and further disregarding one's own experience about the self, how can such a person arrive at the final conclusion about the nature of the self? He will never be able to know the self. One person was sitting in the market, fresh fish for sale. He had a board, and a few fish in front of him. He just fished them from the pond or river, wherever. Someone came. How can you say it is fresh? You have not taken it out of water. It's already a few hours here. Take the fresh out of that fresh fish for sale. Someone came, gave an opinion. He says, yeah, that is correct. He removed the fresh. Another person came. He said, why are we stupid that we can't see it is fish for sale? Why you to write fish? You just write sale because everyone can see fish. Oh, that is also correct. Remove the fish from the board. Hey, you are in a marketplace. In marketplace only sale happens. Why you have to write sale? And he had a blank. He removed the sale. Blank board is there and he is sitting with it. Fourth person came. Are you stupid? Everyone is calling him stupid. Are you stupid? You have got a blank there. You write fresh fish for sale. So this is how our situation is. From one satsang to the next satsang to the next satsang, we keep collecting questions, keep taking opinions without completing any thought from beginning till end, as the teacher has or the scriptures have presented it. We just कौवे की तरह मुंह मारते रहते हैं. Some little bit. What is my message for the day? एतस्यता अक्षरस्य. अरे दिस इज संस्कृत यार. इंग्लिश में क्या है? the planets revolve at the command of the indestructible Supreme Lord. Next day, again come, again open another book. What is that? Jivatmana Nirgame Deham. It goes on. And another school of Charvakas. Charvaka is one of the philosophies who believe that what I see, hear, touch, feel is the truth. There is no birth, there is no rebirth, etc. Only what I see. So make merry and enjoy. This is the. So yesterday I saw the whole world is revolving around the Lord and the Lord is making the whole world revolve, and suddenly today I say only what I see is the truth. No connection. This is our lot. Going from never taking one text, one thought, and coming to a logical conclusion as the scripture is bringing to that you to that conclusion, or a teacher has written and bringing it to the conclusion. And then we have, first we had one question. After going 2-3 days to different texts or different satsangs, we have 10 more questions. Then we have 100 more questions. It just keeps on increasing. What? Confusion. Confusion keeps increasing. And this is just like that fellow, the fish seller. So here it is told that similarly, a person who is considering himself as oneself as an erudite logician, very logically you are able to present it, etc. But we also know, today doctors will know, one day, 10 years, 15, 20 years, you have been doctors for what, 40 years now? So 40 years, what conclusions they gave, that these are the parameters of this disease. 10 years later, they were changed. The dosage of medicine was changed. The diagnosis was changed. 10 years later, again it was changed. Every year it changes. And why they change? Because they want more patients. Or what 40 years ago felt was that is the final, But it is not. Data keeps changing. There are scientists who are doing all that, but they cannot say what knowledge they are presenting is the final line. They cannot. So logic does not have a final line. You can break one logic with another logic, or you can enhance one logic with another logic. You can do all that, but logic is not the final say unless you have a direct experience. What was the word for it? Aparoksha anubhuti. How can such a person... So, one person, one boss comes to the company. Immediately one staff gets up and runs to the road and opens the door and, sir, please, you have had a long journey and you come back to work, fantastic, come to the office now after so many days, we are so happy. I see, last time I didn't open this car, this is a new car. He says, yes, it is a new car. You have to work hard. You have to work 18 hours a day. You have to work 7 days a week. You have to. Then I can afford another new car. Huh? And looking at him, this fellow who was opening the door, when will I come to that day? When will that day come for me? When I am running this car, having this type of car? It will never come. It is possible if you go in the right direction. But if you are pursuing money by looking at others, if you are pursuing the scriptures because it's the cool thing to do, others are doing it, if you are pursuing the scriptures or spirituality because it is interesting, let me see what this religion says, that religion says, who are you trying to fool, man? Unless and until that employee is not self-motivated, self-inspired to be successful, otherwise he's only looking for, what do you call that, after 1 year of appraisal. If I get appraisal, I'll get a promotion. When I get promotion, I'll get more money. By the time he gets to the position that he wants, life is over. Look at that Oyo fellow in India, 22 years old. Today he's a billionaire, he's not even 30. Not even 30. Coming from a village, small town. So you can't look out and come to deny what your experience of life is. Because parents are saying so, because elders are saying so, because esteemed people are saying so, but my experience of life is teaching me something else. So am I going to be available to their words and deny what my experience is? Or am I going to give value to my direct experience that is going on inside of me and give what other people are saying zero value? If you take the second one, give value to what is your direct experience, what are your thoughts coming to you, what is your assessment of life bringing you to make a decision, and you don't listen to what other people say, there is pain. Huh? वो देखो पानी गिरेगा सारा, it's overflowing. उसके नीचे प्लेट रखो नहीं तो, या उसको खोलो. Just like that rice is getting cooked, when you listen to other people, you also get cooked. And you complain. But when you listen to your own heart and you don't listen to people, yes, other people will misunderstand you. You will be misunderstood. But you will be at peace. You will be at peace because you followed your heart. You followed your conviction. You are not blaming anyone else. Only for such people. So yes, you study scriptures, but you follow your experience. गिरने वाला है सारा, वो कहीं और लगाओ ये सब carpet, it will go bad.
I've got a tray.
Okay, enough place in it for collect water. So such a person who's depending upon other people's opinion, other people's experiences, other people's judgments, other people's support, and denying his own direct experience. This is what majority of the seekers do. They listen to satsangs. You see, Swamiji said that you have to do that, control your mind. They are telling their child, they are telling their wife or husband, but they are not applying it on themselves. It was not told to so that you pass it on to someone else and judge the other person. It was for yourself. How can such persons who are not self-oriented ever come to know? It is such people who ask, from where the ignorance came, how in the Kutastha Chaitanya the ignorance can appear, why it has appeared, how it has appeared. How can such a person arrive at the final conclusion about the nature of the self? He will never be able to know the self because he is not subjective. He is not subjective. Subjective does not mean talking about the subject matter. Subjective means to be the subject. The mouth may be talking about the subject matter. The subject matter is the self, the I. The mind is thinking about the subject matter. But my attention, where is my attention? Is my attention on the I thought, or is my attention on the what is the source of that I thought? What is the substratum of that I thought? Then it will be subjective. You do not have faith in your own experience, and logic has no stability. It keeps changing according to the intellect of the person who interprets it. This is our experience of our life. As a child, we were convinced about something, toys, clothes, etc. As teenage, we were convinced about different things. In youth, we were convinced about ambition and job and money and this and that. As we come to 50s, 60s, we are convinced about disease, decay. And as more years pass by, we will be convinced that death is coming. I'm waiting, when is it going to come? The convictions change. One day I was convinced that my friend is my enemy, he is the worst person I have come across in my... And goes and tells his parents. His parents and the other friend's parents argue with each other. Next day, they are holding hands and running around. Conviction changed. It didn't stay, it doesn't last. Today you are convinced that you are happy, tomorrow you are convinced that you are unhappy. Look at you, in your own life you go through. So one day I am in pain, one day I got no pain. Conviction. Hungry, not hungry. Both are convictions. Do they last? No. And logic has no stability. It keeps changing according to the intellect of the person who interprets it. Thus, logic is not infallible. So, logic is not the answer. We use the logic, but we have to directly experience. Tarkikam manyah katham va tattva nishchayam apnuyat. In the absence of these two factors, those who consider themselves to be great logicians, how will they ever get a final answer about the truth? They will only flounder between lack of self-faith on one hand and the fickleness of unsteadiness of logic on the other. This is what happened when Jnaneshwar Maharaj went to Paithan and went and faced all the pandits of who were beholders of the culture and religion, of the Shastras. Very well versed in Sanskrit, very well versed in the logic, and that logic made them arrogantly ask this young boy of 8-9 years that there goes a buffalo, his name is also Jnana, your name is also Jnana, you talk about Atma, you talk about this and that. Just because his name is Jnana, can he chant the Vedas? Their whole arrogance was broken in one go. They were only doing lip service to the scriptures. And that lip service led to arrogance. I'm better than, holier than thou. We are the beholders. We are the protectors of culture and religion. And that has gone into their head. And whenever this happens in our life also, something happens and it brings us to ground reality. Logic doubtless has its value, but only so long as and so far as it is utilized in such a way that it falls in line with one's experience and with the scriptures. So this is very, very important. Logic, unwanted, बाल की खाल निकालते हैं ना, splitting hair logic. That is not for the man and the woman and the whatever is going on in the world. If our goal of logic and analysis is not to come to the conscious principle, it will take us in the wrong direction. See? That person who came last week, he says, I think of pain in my finger and the pain comes there. If I think of pain in my thigh, the pain comes there. I said, why don't you, if your thinking is so powerful, why don't you think that you are God? That you are infinite, that you are pure consciousness, that you are not the mind. Any thought you take, it will happen. If you are able to manifest pain just by thinking, then why don't you manifest that I am not the mind, I am not the thoughts? Because that is your natural state. I never thought like that. But then immediately, but it is so difficult to do that. I said, why it is so difficult to, is it difficult to manifest pain in your finger? If that is not that is not difficult, why is it difficult to see that you are separate from your mind or separate from your thoughts? So our logic should fall in line. It should not, I'm a, what you call, freelance thinking. Then why, when freelance thinking, then our ideas come. And we can unknowingly give a wrong connotation to certain things that are given in the scriptures. And that is why you will see, I always take a scripture that is guiding my thoughts. I am only expounding what is given in the scriptures, or what, even that also, what is. But then there is no independent, no, I don't want to be independent. There is no question of my independent opinion. There is no opinion here. I am following the parampara. There are times when impromptu we have to speak, we speak, but that is only in general. But when you have to go to the depths, there must be, it must follow the scriptural conclusion. Not we come to a conclusion which is opposite of what the scriptures are bringing out. Then we are going the wrong way. This is explained in the next shloka. Buddhyarohaya tarkasched apeksheta tatha sati swanubhutyanusarena tarkyatam ma kutarkyatam. If one argues in favor of logic, stating that logic is essential for intellectual appreciation of the truth, in that case one should apply the logic in line with one's own experience. That will help one know the truth. One should not take refuge in false, harmful logic. If we are studying scriptures or any other logic that we are doing, see, when we are giving the E is equal to mc square is also a logic. A square plus b square is equal to the c, what is that? C square or?
A square plus B square plus 2AB.
2ab. 2ab. That is the Pythagoras, no? No, what is that? Hypotenuse. the square of the two sides is equal to the
Pythagoras.
Pythagoras only, yes. Pythagoras. थोड़ा तो याद है यार. Huh? Now, knowing this, this plus this is equal to 2 of A plus B is logic. But till I don't solve it on paper with some examples, till then I will not be convinced of it, isn't it? I have to make it my own experience. Say, yeah, this is this much and this is this much, and the hypotenuse is the 2 multiplied by A plus B. Similarly here, if this is the logic, we are giving you all this, what is ignorance, illusion, delusion, we are talking about in other places that Pancha Mahabhut is coming, and the how the Kutastha Chaitanya and the Jiva, that is Chaitanya identified with breath, is the Jiva, etc., etc. You have to do the experiment within yourself, you have to do the observation within yourself and come to validate it. Not just, yes, on one hand you may believe it blindly because it is the scripture, but that's not going to help you. It's only help you that yes, I believe what the teacher is saying. Vedas, what are they saying? I believe that there is no death. For example, there is no death. But you are surrounded by death. Now, which one are you going to believe? You can, at a relative level, you can logically prove there is death, and at a non-relative level, you can prove there is no death. Now, which logic are you going to follow? Depends which text you are working, and you see that yes, within me everything is dying every moment. But as the subject matter that I am, it is deathless. You have to appropriate it correctly, no? And that appropriation will only happen when we are subjective, when we are alert about our thoughts, our emotions, our mind, and go deeper and deeper and deeper to see how the whole thing has got entangled and we have become a confused fellow. So if one argues of logic, stating that logic is essential for intellectual appreciation of the truth, in that case one should apply the logic in line with one's own experience. That will help one know the truth. One should not take refuge in false, harmful logic. If acceptance has not become conviction, then logic is certainly necessary to transform the knowledge that one gets from the study of scriptures into a firm conviction. Knowledge, whatever information is coming to us, that information, if we have accepted, what is the information that has come to you? What happened?
She wants to see you.
Come here.
Thank you.
She got her ear
Yeah.
what do you call them?
Yeah.
Earbuds?
Yeah.
Not earbuds. What?
Hearing
Hearing
aids.
aid. Hearing aid.
Hearing aids.
Trust me.
Good. You got married and you accepted that this girl whom you got married to is your wife, and with reference to that wife you accepted that you are husband. Acceptance only, no? You were born, parents said dada, mama, and you kept listening, and you are watching everywhere. Every child is calling daddy, mommy to their parents. No proof, no data, but you accept these are my parents, isn't it? If nobody, even if you are adopted and you are never told, you will just accept that these were your parents. It's acceptance. And then as that acceptance, this is my daddy. One child went and someone I know, So their grandparents took him away to some other city, and they said the parents can get a break, and they went. After 2 months, that child came back. It was only 3-4 years old. What memory that child has? Nothing much. He came. That child was again and again told by the grandmother and the other sisters of his mother that mummy, mummy, and suddenly he remembered, because mummy के साथ तो ज़्यादा relationship होती है ना. He realized mummy, and he went and hugged the mummy. And daddy is waiting. He is also at the railway station. Hey, I am your daddy. I don't want to know this fellow. He won't go to the child. Oh, dad was so annoyed कि my child is not recognizing me. How is this possible? ये घुमा के दिया. फिर रोना धोना. अच्छा, थप्पड़ पड़ने के बाद याद आया, हाँ ये तो वही है यार. So acceptance has to convert into conviction. That conviction that I am the husband and I am the wife will make you live and compromise or work in unison or in harmony with the other, because you have accepted. Exactly the same way, parents told us, every child says, Swami wants to wear socks now. He'll tell his mother. Swami wants to wear the shoes now. Swami will want to wear these clothes now. Swami wants to go to school. Swami is hungry. As a child, the child is saying. And the parents say, ज़्यादा नवाब का बेटा आ गया है. Normal बोल. क्या बोल रहा है? I am hungry. I want to wear. And slowly, that he was looking at himself as a third person. He was looking at this body as a third person, and with continuous hammering from the parents, he makes this body the subject, that I am this body. And then after 20-30 years, again he has to work his way back. That I am not the body. See? So everything, what we know, what we are, what we want to be, is only a matter of conviction. If you accept that you are healthy, then you are healthy. If you accept that you are unhealthy, then you are unhealthy. If you accept when scriptures and masters are again and again telling us that you are of the nature of Satchidananda, you are the pure consciousness, you have not accepted it, that's why the misery. That's why the seeking is still going on. Accept that, first the acceptance, and probably that's why you are coming to this satsang and I am coming to taking this satsang. Why? We accept that this is a worthy thought to be pursued. It's worth a whole day of expenditure thinking about this type of thought, because I have accepted, and now I want to be convinced in a different angle of approach how I am that. See? So I'm not talking only, it's a good thing also. So because you have accepted that but I'm not having the experience of being the infinite. So I need to be convinced now. Where am I going wrong? Why am I not getting, why it is not clicking? Then I come to the satsang, then I come to the texts, then I come to the Upanishads. However, it should be kept in mind that logic should be according to one's experience as developed by the study of scriptures. So logic should not be only in the head. It must synchronize with your experience. So when I am talking about this, or in the last class or the class, yesterday's class, somewhere I give you some examples of meditation and the void, or all that is what is happening. Therefore, I don't have to read a book to remember that. It's my direct experience of meditation. It's my observation that this is what happens and this is what is happening. See, you're so alert. No, is it like this, or is it like that, or is it like that? Is absence presence, or presence is absent? There's no question. Do you have any doubt about you being a man or a woman? No doubt. Do you have any doubt about being a husband or a wife? No doubt, because you accept it. Do you have any doubt about being the parents of the children? No doubt. Exactly the same way, you have no doubt about being who you are, the pure consciousness. Have no doubt about the pathway that you are taking, the logic that you are pursuing, the techniques and methodologies that you are pursuing in your life. Here it is Gyan Marg, that you are pursuing in order to reach the already achieved goal. So we have to think in such a way. I could have just now said to reach the goal, and you would have also nodded. I was about to say that. Then I said, no, already achieved goal. I corrected it in my mind. Because that is what the truth is. Why did I say that? Because I was attentive what thoughts are coming and expressing as words. You see? नहीं तो डिफॉल्ट में तो मैं कुछ भी बोल जाऊं. So your logic must synchronize with your experience. Then it is sahaj. Then it is effortless to follow. Then you don't need to repeat and read the Pancadasi again and again. You may do it. I am doing it few times now. But to enjoy. So long as it conforms to the criterion, to that criterion, use that logic, but do not get caught up in the trap of misapplied logic, which is contrary both to the scriptures and to one's own experience. Someone else's logic doesn't mean that it is correct if it does not apply to your experience. Don't accept it. Simple as that. Don't accept it. But accept it if it is given in the scriptures. Then our approach should be, maybe I am somewhere falling short in what, in understanding, in getting convinced, in following the logic which the scripture is presenting. So raise your bar rather than downgrade the scripture. Raise your bar of experience, that if scripture is saying that soul never dies, then find out. No, I think how can scripture say soul is, Bhagavatam says soul goes from one, I have seen the movies, the soul goes from Ramchandra, from Ravana, it went and entered into Rama. Huh? Yeah, look at it properly. It is very subtle line that divides logic from fallacy of logic. The spiritual seeker needs to be very vigilant not to be led astray by wrong logic that takes him away from the truth. And this is what happens when we watch YouTube. One fellow says something, another fellow comes and refutes that, third person comes and takes you in a totally different angle. I don't listen to anything. Hardly. Then what do you listen to? News. Listen and forget. No, I do listen, but not overly. Nahi. Kutastha and avidya can coexist is now stated. Kutastha and, so let's see what he says, means here. Swanubhutiravidyayam avrutau cha pradarshita ata kutastha chaitanyam avirodhiti tarkyatam. Our experience regarding ignorance and veiling power was already explained earlier in Shloka 27. Therefore, logic should favor the establishment of the substratum of ignorance, etc., which is Kutastha Chaitanya. That is, the latter is not contrary to the former. So, what are we sitting here? Are we here to prove ignorance? Are we here to prove the world? Are we here to prove the Jiva? Are we here to prove Kutastha Chaitanya, the infinite, all-pervading conscious principle? What are we here to prove? Are we here to prove that confusion is the norm? doubts are the norm? Or are we here to prove we are already of the nature of Satchidananda? What are we here to prove? Be very clear. So our thinking and our logic should be such that it again and again re-establishes the conscious principle, not re-establishes and reinforces the ignorance and its effects. What is the effects? Delusion and illusion, projection. This is a very fine thing you watch when you are talking to yourself or to other people. What are we trying to establish? It has already been established that the experience of the veiling power of ignorance is possible. Yes, it is there. As at a relative level, we are the seekers. This is for the relative, not for the Kutastha Chaitanya. As a relative, as a jiva, it has already been established because I am an intelligent person, I have got intellect, I have got mind, I have got cognitive ability, so I am understanding what is being told here.
Oh, yeah.
And ignorance is, because of ignorance I am not able to know, that I also understand who I am actually. And that ignorance is expressing as delusion and projection. This also I understand. Ata kutastha chaitanyam avirodhi iti tarkyatam. Therefore, the avidya or ignorance is not contrary to the kutastha chaitanya. The rope is not contrary to the snake, nor the mirage contrary to the desert, nor the sky to the blue color. Similarly, the presence or absence of avidya has nothing to do with kutastha chaitanya. Similarly, the presence or absence of avidya has nothing to do with the kutastha chaitanya. The kutastha chaitanya and jiva belong to different planes of reality. Understand what I am saying? At this moment, you are a husband also, you are a man also, you are the mind also, you are the jiva also, you are the chaitanya also, and you are the pure consciousness also. Putting all of them in one basket and saying, no, I don't know which one I am, lost. You are husband with reference to wife. You are man with reference to the body. You are mind with reference to conditioned consciousness. You are the jiva, the I which is expressing through it. You are the chaitanya, which is not identified with anything yet. Or chidabhas if we take, not identified to anything yet. And you are the pure consciousness behind, which is the substratum. You are all this at the same time. Well, you can go even further. I am foolish, I am ignorant, I am stupid, I cannot understand. All this will come below. You can add many things to it. So, to take the word pure consciousness and use it at the relative level and think, how can relative consciousness and ignorance appear at the same time? This is where we are going wrong, because Kutastha Chaitanya is the substratum. It can never come and it can never go. Just like in our Upanishad, what did we say Prajapati is? Prajapati himself expresses as sun and the moon. Sun and the moon itself expresses as the time. That time itself expresses as the year. Year itself expresses, year is one, but the north equinox and south equinox, the one alone is dividing into two. Similarly, that one Paramashiva alone has divided into two. See? So, when you are looking at the two, your attention is not on the one. Your attention is, it's covered. By the two, that is covered. But because you are intelligent, you are bringing that one in the relative and want to say, how can the two exist? How can the man and the husband and the consciousness exist together? Are they not coexisting? Consciousness is also there, reflected consciousness is also there, mind is also there, man is also there, husband is also there, father is also there. Can father be without the man? Can the man be without the mind? Can the mind be without the jiva? Can the jiva be without the consciousness? Think a little bit systematically. Don't just ask questions or allow questions to pop up. And therefore, we must follow the logical analysis as given in the scriptures. So, similarly, the presence or absence of avidya has nothing to do with the Kutastha Chaitanya, because Kutastha Chaitanya, the pure consciousness, is unaffected by presence or absence. Example, the sun is unaffected by the presence of the day or absence of the day. Correct or not? Replace the sun with the pure consciousness that you are, or the witnessing consciousness that you are. Different words. Or the Kutastha Chaitanya that you are. Then presence, waking and dream. Absence, deep sleep. These three come and go, but you don't come and go. You are the one who is illuminating them in your light, in your presence. You are the true presence. Right now, who are you taking yourself as? Are you taking yourself as the waking presence, or are you taking yourself as the witnessing presence? This you have to suss it out within. I cannot do that for you. This is called being subjective. This is what he was saying in the previous verse. You have to use the logic according to, it should synchronize with your experience. You have to apply it on yourself. Experience means you have to apply the logic on yourself. You are using that data not to analyze others. You are using that data to analyze yourself. Therefore, the Kutastha Chaitanya is not contrary to the presence of ignorance, the effect of ignorance, the experience of the effect of ignorance. This means all experiences that in life will continue as ever, one's own knowledge and stability that needs to be changed. So what is your stability? Your stability of your conviction is in I am the body. Your stability is in the conviction that I was born and I'm going to die one day. And the scriptures and the masters are helping us to become stable in the conviction that I am the pure consciousness, was, is and will be. There is no I am beyond, I am ever. This conviction has to come. And conviction maybe we are. Stability. Stability means we do not get carried away. So you are behaving, do you ever get carried away from being a man or woman? Do you have any doubt about it in your mind? That is the stability. You are being the husband, you are being the wife, you are being the various roles you are doing. But you never repeat to yourself, I am the man, I am the woman, I am the man, I am the woman. So you have become stabilized in the male or female body that you have. That you don't need to repeat it anymore. But as a child, beta, who are you? I don't know. Child will say, I don't know. Then parents say, this is, I am a boy. Mommy, why can't you be boy? Mommy has to explain. Child is not born with the knowledge that he is a boy or a girl, isn't it? We have to make him convinced. Same thing is with us. We have to be convinced and become stable in this knowledge that I am of the nature of pure consciousness. Conviction सबके पास हो सकता है, but convictions also change. In the class, I'm convinced I'm the pure consciousness. After I wear the shoes and go, I'm convinced that my family, my children, my this, my world, my survival, my business, my job, my. When I'm awake, I'm convinced I'm awake. But then sleep comes, I'm awake. With this conviction only, I go into sleep that I need sleep to survive. Isn't it? So conviction is changing. I'm understanding or not understanding is also conviction. The line of logical inquiry is Tached virodhikeneyam. Tached virodhikeneyam. Avrutir hyanubhuyatam. Vivekastu virodhyasyaha. Tattvajnanini drisyatam. If Kutastha Chaitanya, pure consciousness, the unchanging substratum, were to be contrary to the ignorance and veiling, then by what were these known? That is, Kutastha Chaitanya is not opposed to them. However, it is discriminating inquiry which is opposed to ignorance, as is evident in the man of self-knowledge. What does he mean here? He says, if Kutastha Chaitanya is Virodhi, opposite of ignorance, if we take that position, here we are saying both are coexisting in the previous verse. Now he is saying if we take it to be opposite to each other, is husband and wife opposite to each other? Is day and night opposite to each other? Majority of the people say they are opposite, isn't it? Is inside and outside opposite to each other? Is top and bottom opposite to each other? Then what is it? Coexisting. Good. They are coexisting. We have to change the language. We have been programmed in a particular way of thinking. When you come here, you have to start different usage of words, because words are by which you program yourself. If I'm continuously again and saying that day and night is opposite, man and woman is opposite, inside outside is opposite, then that is what the mind is going to bring, and I will see everything as opposite to each other. But the moment I say coexist, then I'll stop fighting. Then there's no question of good versus bad. I know both good and bad coexist. Where there is good, there will be bad. Where there is bad, there will be good. When I take it subjective, where there are good thoughts, there will be bad thoughts. Where there are bad thoughts, there will be good thoughts. Then should I go after good thoughts, kill the bad thoughts and increase the good thoughts? If you think you have to do something, then you have to do that. But otherwise, easy way or simple way or direct way, recognize that you are the one who is knowing, observing, witnessing the coming and going of the good thoughts and the coming and going of the bad thoughts. So nothing to do with both, because I am other than the both. But if I identify with the thoughts, then I have to do something about them, isn't it? This is the, इसको क्या बोलते हैं? Dehypnotizing yourself, your mind. But it has to come to this logical conclusion. काश ये सब हमको स्कूल में सिखाया होता. Then who is experiencing this ignorance, this avruti or veiling? Asyaha vivekastu virodhihi. The opponent of veiling power is viveka or discrimination. Wrong thinking is nullified by correct thinking. So Jnaneshwar Maharaj says, what is ignorance? Incomplete thinking. And what is knowledge? Complete thinking. Incomplete thinking makes you think more and more. In complete thinking if something is called like that, it will bring you to silence. It will come to the conclusion that you are the conscious principle. That will be without any doubts and confusions. It is this knowledge born of discrimination that leads to correct perception. So here, what is the antidote of ignorance? It was told before also, it is viveka. Viveka is discrimination between the constant and the excuse me, constant and the changing, between the truth and the untruth. Where are we? It is this knowledge born of discrimination that leads to correct perception. So what is the, so we are not talking about discrimination is the knowledge. The knowledge resulting out of discrimination. So what are we doing? Discrimination. What is discrimination? To subjectively assess. If your attention is on the body, assess the body. Attention is on the mind, assess the mind, breath. Attention is on the intellect, assess the intellect. Because in the intellect is the knowledge and ignorance. So assess the knowledge and ignorance. And what is the assessment that you are doing? That whatever is changing is unreal, and whatever is the changeless is the real. This is the discrimination going on. Start from the outside, come to the body, come to the senses, come to the breath, come to the mind, come to the concepts, come to the ideas, come to the thoughts, come to the waker, dreamer, sleeper. And you will automatically come to a conclusion. Nobody has to tell you that. If you do it correctly without getting distracted or hijacked by any other thought, it will automatically bring you to the right conclusion. Because you have started from the right point. You have decided truth is that which does not change, and untruth is that which changes. It will automatically, you will come to the truth. But when our beginning itself is not right, I don't know if this is right or that. It is interesting, but I don't know. Forget it. You can never come to know. If you decide it is very difficult, you can never come to know. Because you already become convinced that it is difficult. So what language you are processing in here about what the life is sending you the data, that is very important. And you must process the data, you must process your thoughts, data is thoughts. You must process your thoughts in the light of the scriptures. Not free will, or the free willy-nilly. Not any way you want to process it. No, that doesn't work. The Avarna Shakti affects only the Jiva and not the Kutastha Chaitanya. Now we are discriminating further. What is that? The Avarna Shakti, what was the, how did ignorance express? Veiling and projection. The Kutastha, the constant one, is not affected by the changing. The Kutastha is not affected by the veiling. The Kutastha is not affected by, I'm using different words, by forgetfulness. Kutastha Chaitanya, the pure consciousness, the unchanging principle that I am, ever remains the same. The water remains water. This is what is told here. Let's take that example. So Avarna Shakti, the veiling power, the forgetfulness that I am the water, affects the wave. That Avarna Shakti does not affect the water, the substratum. So apply it here. It does not affect the Kutastha Chaitanya. It affects that one who comes and goes. it affects that one who's identified. Who is the identified? Reflected consciousness identified with breath and body was the jiva. It affects that one. It doesn't affect the one who is unidentified, who is independent. It doesn't affect that. See? Once this knowledge is gained, the suffering resulting from wrong identification comes to an end. Simple, only one line. Only one assessment we have to do. And what is that? That the forgetfulness of our nature, true nature, is affecting only the conditioned consciousness and not the kutastha, that is the unconditioned consciousness. Except you are the unconditioned consciousness. We just now told you, you are the husband, you are the man, you are the mind, you are the jiva, you are the consciousness, the consciousness. You are the chidabhas, you are the life, that is the life itself, and you are the chaitanya vastu behind, you are the kutastha behind. All of them are happening at the same time. Where is your attention? Where is your attention? Husband, it is with reference to somebody else in the mind. Now you say, oh no, but the consciousness is all pervasive. It is pervading my wife also. So how can I be separate to my wife? But I am experiencing I and my wife are separate. But I think we are soulmates. One only becoming two. You will confuse yourself and go so deep down into self-destruction, you will not know when it comes. If you think in that manner. We have heard people speak like that. That's why I'm saying. I'm not making it up. Soulmates. तुमने भी सुना होगा. Maybe you have made the argument. I know, I remember one day that thought was one of my doubts. But here Pancadasi is making it absolutely clear. To the relative being, ignorance overpowers. To the constant principle, the ignorance has got no jurisdiction. I am the witness, unconditioned observer of my total experience of life. What is that life? Waking, dream and deep sleep. The conditioned consciousness is appearing as waking, conditioned with the waking world, as dreamer, conditioned with the dream world, and the absence of the two. Someone is knowing that these three are coming and going. That is the unconditioned one. So I am that also at this moment. I am the waker also at this moment. I am the body also at this moment. I am the speaker also at this moment. Where do I put my attention? That will depend upon what you are convinced of. What is your conviction? And if you are convinced that you are the pure consciousness, then why am I not? Because you are not stable. Because stability means continuous abidance in that conviction. And how do convictions appear? I'm asking. How do convictions appear? Huh?
As oneness.
As thoughts.
As thoughts. Yes, good. Convictions appear as thoughts. When you are stable in the conviction that I am pure consciousness or I am the Kutastha Chaitanya without any doubt, without any confusion, with full acceptance. I've given you enough examples of acceptance now. Then it will happen. Then the jiva will lose its power. It will dissolve away. And dissolving away does not mean that the body will melt away and the essences will vanish. Their ability to hijack the consciousness, their ability to influence the consciousness, that has been taken away. Why? Your attention is not there. Your attention is stable in being the pure consciousness. If I give, while I am looking here, if I give attention to Seema, she nods. If I give attention to Nagaraj, he nods or he feels, oh, Swamiji is looking at me. Or suddenly the position becomes good or whatever. You become alert. If I take the name, you become even more alert. Thank God my name was not taken. This is observation. Huh? So this is from outside. Imagine same thing is happening inside also. Where is your attention? Is it on the position that you are sitting in? Is it on the one hip on which you have put a lot of weight right now? Or is it on the breath, which is a bit, there is no air circulation here. Is your attention on that? And suddenly when you say, there is no air, I think I am feeling claustrophobic. Immediately the mind will start imagining things. Where is your attention? What is the topic going on? That we have to be stable in accepting and being convinced that we are the pure consciousness or the Kutastha Chaitanya. And that appears as a thought only, initial. The conviction is by way of thought. And what are we thinking? Claustrophobia, air, food, change of position. It's already 1 hour, 14 minutes. This is what is going on, no? All the time in our mind. Stability. Stability is like you are stable in the conviction, completely, 100%, that you are the body. You don't need to think of the body. When you are 100% stable in Aham the pure consciousness, Aham Brahmasmi, then you don't have to think of Aham Brahmasmi. If you are totally convinced and accepting that there is no difference between Ram and me, I am of that Ram alone is within and he is alone everywhere, he is everything that there is, then you don't have to take the name of Ram. And even if it is chanted, because there is no one left to take the name of the Ram, then why is the mouth chanting Ram? Out of habit, till this body is there. Power of conviction. Having discussed the nature, once the knowledge is gained, the suffering resulting from wrong identification comes to an end. What is the suffering? Doubts and confusions. Whenever we take the position of identified consciousness, there will be doubts and confusions. That itself is suffering. There will be coming and going. There will be birth and death. There will be shunting from waking, dream, deep sleep, everything going on. And you are identified with all that. See? Having discussed the nature of ignorance and veiling, now projection aspect of ignorance is discussed. We'll discuss this in our next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnahat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. So we have seen here that the Kutastha and the ignorance both exist, but both are different planes. One is the relative, one is the absolute. Understand? And the ignorance only affects the conditioned consciousness, and Kutastha is the unconditioned consciousness. And why we are not being the unconditioned consciousness? Only because we have not accepted it 100%. Therefore, we are not convinced 100%, and because we are not convinced 100%, there is no stability in our being, the Kutastha Chaitanya. So, in four lines I told. So, shift. Only one shift inside has to come. Acceptance. It all begins from there. Hari Om.